welcome back into Bringing the Heat with Tanner and Drew. My name is Tanner.
What is up, guys? It's Drew.
All right, well, what a shit week it is to be a Arizona sports fan. Football fan, baseball
Rough.
fan,
Rough.
basketball fan. Any type of Arizona-related sports is rough this time of year.
Rough.
Let's waste no time. We will dive right into today's show. ASU laid an egg at home against Colorado after being ranked number 24. One of my fears that we talked about last week was I hate when they get ranked. I wish they would never have ranked us.
You did say that.
I hate when they rank us because we just came off a tough physical game against Michigan State. They ranked us. Kids are feeling good. Kids get complacent. These are college kids,
Yeah.
all right? They get complacent. And sure enough, we lose to Colorado 34-31. Theme of the game for me was couldn't catch up. They got off to a 7-0 lead, 14-0 lead. We tied it back to 14. They got up to 21. We tied it 24, tied it 31, tied it 34. We just ran out of time. You know, that was the theme of the game. You know, every time we caught back up, we couldn't ever get over the hump.
Yeah, we couldn't stop.
We didn't have the lead for 1 second in the entire game.
No. And we that was just the main issue is the offense, for the most part, really did their job. And I guess maybe that's something that's promising from this game going forward. But beyond that, the defense got nothing short of torched.
See, right now I would say that this offense and this defense each played one half of good football. The problem is they played them on opposite halves.
Yep.
All right. So first half defense didn't even show up. I don't even think they got off the bus until halftime. All right. Offense kept us in the game. They put up 24 points in the first half, something like that, and
Yes.
and we were able to,
21, yeah.
So we were able to put up 21. They put up 24. Down 3 points. 24-21. We haven't scored, 21 points really all year.
They went off.
And we haven't given up 24 points. So, for us, it was the tale of two halves because the second half,
We only allowed
Colorado
10.
only gave up 10 points, but
But
our offense only got 10 points. So it was just like, where was the offense that got 21 in the first half? Can you get another 20? Because then we win the game. Can you get 14? Because then we win the game.
Also,
Or
a
we
crucial
tie.
missed field goal as well.
Yeah.
So
Zendejas did miss
speaking of
one early.
complacency,
He got his
Only-
scholarship. The week after he got his scholarship, he shanked his
missed it,
first
yeah.
field goal.
which would have tied the game.
Aye.
But nonetheless, it was a game that I think we still should have won and didn't. And unfortunately, we came up short. We couldn't stop them on defense to save our lives. And then when we could stop them on defense, it didn't matter because our offense stalled. And that's kind of the tale of the Devils a lot this year is aligning up the two sides of the game to where they're both playing well at the same time and not the other. It does work out sometimes where one will save the other and will still pull out the win. We saw that with Michigan State.
Yeah, defense saved the offense's ass, and
But
the offense was able to pull out a win at the very end.
this could also easily happen every game where, unfortunately, offense comes up short saving the defense's ass or vice versa.
Yep.
And we've got to start playing as a whole unit.
So we're on to week 5 of the college football season.
We're on a cow.
We go to Cal this week, number 15, last undefeated team in the Pac-12. They look good against Ole Miss this past weekend.
Good.
They went down into Mississippi and beat Ole Miss in an SEC school, and they did it with their offense. I'm really scared of their offense because if Colorado's offense is able to hang 34, Cal has a better offense. So it's going to be pretty tough for us, I think, this week.
It is, and I think the most important part is I think it's going – a lot of points will be scored on us, but not letting 14 points back-to-back unanswered in the first quarter against us.
Yes.
That's really, like you said, it put us in a hole. And yes, we had it tied at multiple points, but you don't let them get up 14 points on you. You might be able to take the lead yourself at some points, and it's a completely different football game.
This game should be noted that it is on Friday night, not Saturday night. So we got Friday night football, Pac-12. Last week was USC upsetting Utah.
Yep.
Could we see something similar this week?
Let's hope so. But, man, if ASU does beat Cal, the Pac-12 does not want to be in the college football playoffs, and we love beating each
Cal's
other.
not making it anyway.
I understand, but we just love shooting each other in the foot.
No, we beat the shit out of each other, and no Pac-12 team will make it in as long as we don't have a dominant team. We don't have a dominant team.
Not anymore.
Especially this year. This is definitely the type of game that Herm pulls out, though. You know, we're coming off a loss. You know, we're feeling down. Cal's feeling good. They just got a big win. They're at home. You know, this
could be a similar to us coming off Michigan State.
That's what I'm saying. And it's like, this is the type of game that Herm will come out and surprise you, and you're like, okay, I'm back on. So that's all I got to say. Watch out. I don't expect very much. Probably going to be our second loss of the season, and then we'll go from there. I'm defeated with some sports right now, so let's get on to the other sport, or same sport, other team here in the Valley that is making me feel just very defeated. The Arizona Cardinals blowing a massive game at home against the Panthers with their backup QB.
Second start ever.
And we lose by 18 points at home. The offense doesn't do shit in the second half.
Neither does the defense.
The defense didn't, they've been playing well up until this point, the first 2 games of the year, but they look like the preseason defense.
And the defense looked good for like 2 drives.
Yeah,
and then
Panthers
from then
did
on,
whatever they wanted.
They pretty much did whatever they wanted.
We kept stalling, giving them the ball back, making our defense be even more out on, spend longer amount of time out on the field for us. That was one thing that I was just frustrated with, is that the offense wasn't moving the ball, at all. They had plays. Don't look at the play volume, because we had plays. Murray had 43 throws, but he only had 173 yards. That's terrible.
That is.
That's less than 5 yards a pass.
Well, that comes down to a couple things. It's, again, the play calling. Cliff, hopefully only has to get better, but he does need to improve. And I would say, too, which we could get into more, is honestly Kyler Murray. He did kind of for the first time looked a little rattled.
He threw a couple picks on a drive. He threw a pick on a drive when it was close, and then after that it snowballed. He wasn't getting any calls. They weren't getting yards. And sure enough, Cardinals get blown out at home.
Yep.
Wasn't even close. We were so hyped coming in.
And it looked great at first. I mean, they went down the field and scored right away. And it was like, okay, this is going to be one of these games.
Yeah, and it was just like, this is terrible. It could not have gone worse for us.
180 on us.
We were outscored 38-13. The second, third, and fourth quarter. So after the first quarter, we were outscored 38-13.
Played one great quarter.
And it was just, McCaffrey busting out, Greg Olsen. We can't cover a freaking tight end. It's so frustrating. I literally know who is going to beat us. If you have a premier running back and any tight end, doesn't matter how good they are, is going to eat against Cardinals.
Catch, as long as he can catch.
If he can catch and not have drops, he will have a very good game against the Cardinals.
Very good game.
With that being said, we don't need to dwell on this game either, because you could probably hear it in my voice, just pure defeated right now.
Hopefully we learn from this game and we move on.
We're on to week 4.
We're on to the
You'll
Seahawks.
You'll notice the theme. We're on to next week.
Rival
all right.
week.
Seahawks coming to town. 5.5-point favorite right now, the Seahawks are. These games are always pretty close for the most part. Usually the away team wins. It's a weird rivalry.
It really is.
We can win up in Seattle, and they
have our number here. Yeah,
it's
we
weird.
Have their number there.
Kyler versus Russell. That's one thing I want to definitely unfold a little bit.
Yes.
As a lot of people were saying that Kyler Murray's way to success in the NFL is by emulating Russell Wilson, and he gets the opportunity this weekend.
He does, and I found a fun fact that was the last time 2 QBs that are under 6 foot have played each other, it was back in the 70s. It was 40-something years ago.
Oh, I did see this.
It's been a very long time since this has even happened. So the fact that it's happening is kind of crazy in itself, but the fact that obviously it's the Arizona Cardinals involved, plus the Seahawks and the rivalry they have, it's going to be really cool. We'll see. I don't know. Nonetheless.
The game itself, I think, is going to be a little bit tighter than people think. I think we're not going to lose by 18 again. At least you can't bank on that. You can't bank on your team losing by 14 plus.
No,
This seems like it's going to be kind of a long day at the office for Kyler Murray, and he might have a chance to like pull out a late drive, tie it, or like pull out a late TD to win it. They could probably keep it close, but that's just me continuing to be on the optimistic. I'm seeing improvement side of things.
Yeah.
But some things need to get better.
They do.
One of those things is not the offensive line.
No.
Because they have been playing pretty well.
For what they are, they really have.
They're not going to be a top 10 unit. They're not going to be, I would say bottom 10, but they easily could be, so I don't want to really put that out there. But they're probably going to be closer to the middle of the pack, in my opinion.
Sure, I think that's fair.
Somewhere between offensive line 15 and offensive line 25.
Yep.
All right?
Definitely.
And that's fine for what it is. Kyler Murray can escape pressure. That was one thing that we saw in the first quarter, in the first half, quite frequently, was Kyler Murray on the run. It was something we hadn't seen up until this point.
Yeah, not really.
But it looked good.
He was mostly eyes down the field, and he kind of found a few opportunities where he could take advantage, and he did look very quick and like he could cover a lot of ground.
Yeah, and just adding that wrinkle of, it's a crucial third down, everybody's covered, I could get 3 and get to first. Like that
demoralizing
is
the
what,
defense.
What I want to see, that type of playmaking ability from Kyler. I do think he has it. My concern is elsewhere on the offense. For one, you want to talk about play calling. Like sometimes our wide receivers can drop easy balls or, we just don't get any explosive plays except for the Larry Fitzgerald down the field. They try to do these wide receiver screens, quick outs with Kirk, so he's going to have, 10, 12 catches a game. But it's reliant upon Kirk being able to break a tackle and pick up some yards.
Or just catch the ball.
Yeah, and if he can catch the ball, he's going to get, 3,
which, to be
4
fair,
yards.
he does a lot of the time. But, again, on that big play where he had it and then he dropped it, it's just like, you can't do that. We can't afford that. We're already kind of working with very little, and we have a rookie QB, and there's a lot going against us.
That,
we need
and
you
then
to make
there
catches
was the
like
one,
that.
who was it? It was a tight end or something, leaked out on a fake. He, fake blocked and then was going up the left sideline, and it hit him in the hands, and he just tried to move and turn without the ball too quick.
Yep.
And it was just like, come on, man, that was a TD. That would have put us right back in the game.
Oh, there was the Sherfield one as well.
The Sherfield, that's Sherfield.
Is that the one? Yeah, where he rolled wide open to the left. Nobody was there.
Drops it, man.
And it was a little high, but it went right through his hands still.
Yeah,
so
that was frustrating.
And again, I know we have a lot of young and unproven wide receivers, and maybe that's adding to it, but yes, it's not all the line. It's definitely not all the offensive line like everyone was focusing on coming into this year.
Yeah, it's a collection of talent around Kyler Murray is very subpar right now, except for Larry Fitzgerald, because David Johnson looks like garbage.
David Johnson is
right now he's an enigma.
Borderline a ticking time bomb for us because he does not look explosive at all. I know I was talking to you earlier about where he is rushing yard-wise. He's 30th in the NFL for rushing yards.
I was actually thinking it was going to be a little bit worse. How many rushing yards does he have, do you know?
I do not know exactly. However, there are obviously almost more than a whole league's worth of starting running backs ahead of him. And he's one of the highest paid running backs in the NFL.
He has 133 rushing yards on 36 carries.
Total?
133 total, yes.
Yikes.
On 36 carries. It's not great. One way I would like to see him be used, I know I talked about this last week, I've talked about it forever, is I do think it is time to transition him to a wide receiver to maximize the value of that contract. You can't get rid of him. You can't trade him. If you were to commit to that, I do think that you would be able to get something of value, whether it be, a couple third-round picks, maybe a second somewhere. But nobody's trading for a running back that doesn't necessarily look good. When they could go get Melvin Gordon, who looked good last year, and the last few years, and is available.
Yep.
And nobody's going to take on $13 million of David Johnson, so he's kind of stuck with us. And I think the best way to maximize the value is to put him in the slot, make him be, turn him into a slot wide receiver, give him quick plays.
Get him in space.
Yeah, or even put him on the outside.
That's what's always said,
easy
though,
routes
about him is putting him in space.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to put him in space, then make him a wide receiver. And so
Yeah, I do think that's time because what I'm seeing on running the ball is he doesn't run with enough force.
He doesn't.
And it allows him to be tackled quickly.
Or more important, I would say, yeah, that's true. But even then, like, oh, we're planning to try to get 3 yards on this play. Hopefully you can get us 5. He'll always get you 3 or potentially less.
Yeah.
Almost always. And that's the issue is there's never, there's not really any more explosive plays or even just good chunk gains from just purely running like there was in the past.
No, yeah, he doesn't rip off any
it stalls the offense.
10, 12, 15-yard runs.
Because when you're 2nd and 9 now, Murray and Cliff are like, all right, we probably need to throw twice because we have 9 yards. Yeah. And they're going to be short
Plus, they
throws.
want to throw anyways. They want
on top, exactly.
So why not put your best players in positions to be successful by moving him to a wide receiver, position? Leave him in the backfield even, but have him run routes every time. Like, get the ball in his hand. I know Murray doesn't necessarily want to do a drop off, but sometimes that's the best way to move the ball in the NFL is to take what the defense is going to give you and get 6.
Let the players do their thing.
And if you could break it, he gets 14, and then he's got a first down. Boom. If not, take the 4 that the defense has given you, rather than trying to press the ball down the field. Yeah, I do think that right now David Johnson is a major issue.
And
but we just,
figure out something.
It's unfortunate that we're at this point where we're going to have to figure something out in the running back room, you would say. But because when it comes to draft time and draft season later this year, our first round pick is going to be too good for a running back. We're probably going to use it on a playmaker, a defensive end, or an offensive lineman.
Yep.
So a wide receiver, a defensive end, or an offensive lineman.
Yep.
That's what I would say we're going to use it on. Second rounder, we probably need to fill one of the other positions because that's where you're going to find the best value. Is those defensive end and offensive linemen will go quick.
Yeah, all right. I was about to say maybe you get a running back if for some reason somebody's like.
So we're talking third round, running back, if not later. So now we're kind of crossing our fingers that we're going to find somebody.
You hope you
it's
hit
going to get a little bit
David
dicey.
Johnson in the third round.
Yeah, it's going to get a little bit dicey because I do think that we need to upgrade at running back or I don't know what it exactly is. Like properly using David Johnson.
I mean, we do have a lot of money going into next year. I will say that. So maybe you can do something and solve that issue via the free agent money.
But I honestly think that this is going to be a long-term thing for us to monitor, and
yes, absolutely.
It's going to ultimately lead to the success or failure, not necessarily because of the contract, but Cliff running the ball. Like, are we certain that that's what he wants to do? If you want, I don't care how we move the ball and score points. Let me just put it this way.
Sure, yeah.
You don't care, I don't care. If I look at the number and I'm watching the game and we're in the game or we're leading or whatever, I don't care how we got the points.
Sure.
Or I don't care if we score an 80-yard play, every other play.
Sure.
And we're just lucky as hell. But if you're going to throw the ball, throw the ball. If you want to throw. But then put your players in position to capitalize. All right, don't try to mask who you are to, I ran 40%. I don't care. If 20% of those runs, if half of the 50% of those 40% suck or they're not good run plays, why call them? I don't care if they give me negative yards or 1 yard or 2 yards.
A couple things of that. The ball is in Murray's hand more, which I guess you could say is a good thing, but also to a certain extent it's not. And it's the reason he's at one of the most hit QBs and sack QBs in the league. Also, it actually has to do partly with his progression reading lately as well, but that's a whole nother topic. But nonetheless, he's been getting hit a lot. And so that's because we're having so many pass plays. And last game, we had so many pass plays because we were down, and we were forced to be put into a situation where we were basically an air raid offense. But I think you have to have some sort of running game, and I think David Johnson's performances has really turned Cliff off of wanting to run the ball. Already on top of how little he probably wants to run the ball. Not having a guy that's really getting the job done when you, like you said, you do decide to call those plays and kind of risk wasting them, and he only gets you a yard, that's an issue. But I guess what happens if you put in a running back who potentially starts getting you 5 yards? Would you be willing to run the ball a lot more?
Yes. Yeah. I'm not, that's exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying if you need to put the ball into players' hands that are going to get you positive yards,
No matter
and
what.
positive results.
Yeah.
I don't care if we run 75% or if we pass 75%.
Or
Like, I don't care
yeah.
about the percentage. Just get the job done and get first downs, move the ball, kick field goals, score touchdowns. All right.
Yeah.
At least if we're moving down to where we're kicking field goals, like, we're moving the offense.
But I just think there's going to be a point where the throwing will only become so effective, and you're going to have some sort of run game, or it just won't be successful.
And I think that that's something that, like I said, we'll have to monitor
with.
I think that we should maybe use his offense in the air raid, the pro raid, whatever you want to call it.
See how it goes.
Move the ball up and down the field, and then you have a separate red zone offense. Like, that needs to almost be, identified where you're bringing in some smash mouth
once you
guys.
hit the 20-yard line.
But of course, you can only have so many guys on a team, so it's going to be tough. They got a real problem because they can't get finessed down in the goal line that much, as much as they do. And if you're going to throw though. Like, that's what I'm saying. Don't half-ass anything.
That's true.
Call the plays you want to call. I don't give a fuck what they look like. All right, we're going to be 3 or 4 win team.
Touchdown.
All right, I don't care.
I'll say give Murray some stats.
So, defense is terrible. I cannot wait for Patrick Peterson to return.
That's probably the most annoying thing, in my opinion, about all of this is the what if these past 3 weeks, if not even Robert Alford, but you had Pat Pete, and you were able to eliminate a tight end or, a wide receiver that tore us up. Because in any of those games, they could have easily made an adjustment where Pat Pete is on the tight end. If they really wanted to. And they were like,
they typically don't, but
Mark Andrews is murdering us right now. Pat Pete, go lock him down. He's locked down. And so that's what I would like to see the outcomes of the game.
It just allows us more flexibility with our secondary
and that
players. Because now we have to play Brock and we have to play Murphy as corners.
I honestly think they should consider bringing
the chess pieces because
Buddha
we just don't
down
have depth.
to start covering tight ends.
That's the other problem, is that Buddha is a Tyrann Mathieu type safety where he's just a little bit on the small side, which makes him susceptible to bigger tight ends.
Sure, but he's better at guarding them.
Yeah,
he can cover them better.
Is your free safety over the top and
Yes.
big hitter. So it's like this weird combo of defenses that, maybe in the draft they look for another chess piece like a Derwin James type safety. Where he's like a...
Well, I just more mean particularly like a fix now solution. Like right now, just for the meantime, like put a Band-Aid on it until Pat P gets back, and then you can probably push him back and, like you said, move some pieces. It's just Hassan and them cannot keep up with them right now. That's just the issue.
Yeah.
And to be fair, we played some pretty decent tight ends.
Yeah.
It's not like we play...
And we've played some offenses. I will say this is the problem, is we're playing our third offense that utilizes a good portion of tight ends.
Tight ends, yeah.
Like Panthers and Ravens, have known to utilize some.
Whereas the Rams, not really, not as much at least.
Yeah, not as much. That'll be more through
your slots and your wide receivers.
And, a lot of other different things.
Running back. Yeah,
we're going through a stretch where the tight end problem is really being magnified because the teams we're playing use a good portion of tight end work.
Yeah, but also the other issue is teams are going to see this, even if they're not a tight end heavy team, and they're going to be like, let's start using some tight ends specifically for this week.
That is true.
And then it could be an ongoing issue. Yeah. At least till, like I said, week 7, 6.
I am just really looking forward to another draft, another offseason of adding players, and another offseason of building this offense up, and then we hit the gas next year. I think we're in for a long season.
I'm really interested in weeks 10 through 16 or 17. Just because at that point we will have our full team, quote unquote. Not that it's anything super special, but in theory, hopefully we'll have most of our players and guys and defense back. And it's probably by far the toughest part of our schedule. We'll play the Rams twice, play the Steelers, the Browns, the Seahawks.
See, and those are going to be, I think that is going to be a tough stretch for us because
that's
a lot
where
of the teams you just listed are going to be in playoff contention.
No, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. I'm very interested to see how that goes. Are we going to get annihilated in every single game? Or are we going to come out and put up a fight against a lot of the teams despite their level because
the
we're
Browns
starting
might
to
need a
cook.
win on us. Like when it
Oh,
comes
no,
to Cleveland and
yeah,
Arizona
absolutely.
matchup, whatever week that is, the Browns might be in a spot where like we need to have this if we want to make the playoffs. Like we have to have it.
Yeah, but I mean, depending on the team's final kind of
course.
form going into those last weeks, if they're kind of, for the most
Yeah,
part,
that'll be-
healthy,
I see
we're
what you're
going to
saying.
get
It's
a
a good-
picture
it's a good
of
test of-
where we're going.
Yes.
Because if we come out and Murray just looks awful, that's not good at all. Like, that's going to be worst case
See, I
scenario.
don't think that he'll look awful.
No,
he
that's
hasn't
my
really
point.
looked awful. I mean, he didn't throw
No,
for that many
exactly.
yards, but
That's what I'm saying. But that's also in 6 weeks, you know what I mean, 7 weeks from now. He might, 50 sacks more, 40 more sacks later, be a little more tired and beat up and,
yeah, well, that, I mean, you're
morale's
just
a little
going to
lower,
naturally get hit more. This is another problem.
and he's just a rookie. So
because we're throwing so much. Like
that's what I said earlier. I said that's why you
you're
kind
naturally
of you
gonna
do need to run
get
the
him
ball,
hit more.
even if it is a waste, because it's kind of protecting your guy year one.
That is
So,
true. Yeah.
Anyways,
Moving on from football, let's talk baseball real quick. Diamondbacks just got eliminated this week. Season's over.
I the only thing I'll say on it is it kind of reminds me of the Coyotes last year. I think it's a very similar situation where they kind of barely missed out on the playoffs. D-backs a little bit more.
Yeah,
they fell off
and
right
they're
at the end.
rebuilding a little bit.
They're rebuilding. They have a big offseason.
Pitchers. They traded Greinke, traded Goldie.
They locked up a guy.
Lost
His
Pollock.
name's Marte.
They locked
Several
up
years.
Marte.
Just like the Coyotes locked up.
I do think that it's going to be a good offseason. We're going to get some money off the books. Man, I can't remember if Tomas's contract has one more year or if it's done. If it's done, that frees up $15 million for us. So, but I do think that over the next couple years, Hazen's going to finally have the resources to go out and build the bullpen that he wants to build. And I think that thing is going to be a monster. I think he's going to try to kind of build us like the Yankees. I know that's a really high, mark to set, and it's probably unrealistic because they have so many guys that just recently worked out. Gary Sanchez, Torres, Clint Frazier.
Money.
And they have money to go get Stanton.
Money.
Judge just came up. But point being, they have, their core players on the field are going to be younger guys. I don't think that they're going to have the philosophy of necessarily paying those guys. I think that they want to pump most of their money into that pitching resource. They want to get young pitchers that are controllable, which is what they did, so that they have a lot of control over a guy like Zach Gallen, John Duplantier, some of these other guys who are good. I think they're going to go get another ace. They built up their farm system a little bit.
Think they're going to trade Ray?
I do think they're going to trade Ray next year.
Some assets,
I think they're going to try to get something, or in the offseason even.
Yep.
And just, kind of retool the pitching and then go get a bunch of bullpen guys and just get really creative with this thing for next year.
Yep.
And then the year after, hopefully the rest of their guys will start hitting the major leagues. All the prospects they got from the Greinke and the Goldie deal will start hitting in, and then it's,
Yep.
And then they're going to build these players up and then kind of basically auction them off, and hopefully there's a replacement down in the minors for position player-wise, and then keep building the pitching.
Yep.
That's how you win. So,
but first step before all of that is ensure Hazen stays.
Yes, I do think
in
he
Arizona
stays. I'm
when
pretty
the
sure
offseason
they extended his
hits.
contract, so he's under team
did?
control for I think 4 or 5 more years now. I think it
right.
recently came out last month.
Okay.
So I do think that he's staying. I think that the Red Sox. We would have heard something by now. The Diamondbacks are eliminated from playoff contention. I know the Red Sox probably want to interview a lot of guys, so they might wait, and then they might even circle back around, and we still might lose them. But
that's all I'm saying is,
I
hope not. And from what Lovello said, he doesn't think so. But obviously, that's maybe him just being optimistic towards
that
the
will
fans.
be a very somber podcast if that ever happens. For
let's
me. This year.
Let's knock on wood for
after
that,
he wins me a couple World Series and he wants to go to another challenge. Cool.
Fair.
Do it up. Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
But no, our mission is not achieved yet.
In all seriousness, I think he likes what he has going here, and he's spent already a lot of time trying to build what's already present, and wants to continue on that and not just leave it half done. And although I know it is the Red Sox and it's where he used to work and it's probably his dream job.
Absolutely.
It would be really cool to be able to say that you turned kind of a small town market. I don't know if it's a small town.
Yeah. But I also think that the Red
into a
Sox necessarily
championship
won't do that right now. I think they're going to go a different route.
And maybe, they just don't even
and
want
wait
him.
for him to like prove himself a little bit more.
Really
and
can,
then,
That's fair.
I think they're going to try to go after, one of these other guys that is, I don't know, a little bit more recognized.
Yeah.
Is the way to put it.
A little more proven. Yeah. Absolutely.
Let's dive into the final topic of the evening. We're going to talk a little bit of Suns basketball. We're probably going to do a big preview podcast, break down all the offseason additions, the draft.
Definitely.
Some of this other stuff. But there was a recent article that came out ranking the top 100 players of the last few days. The Suns had 3 of them in the top 100. Let's start with number 84, Ricky Rubio. Did not think he would be necessarily on the top 100 player list, honestly.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's pretty
I'm feeling really
impressive.
good about 3 for 51 right now.
I honestly think it's his FIBA performance that really probably skyrocketed his value. I don't know if he would be in the top 100 if he didn't take Spain to the finals and win it.
Yeah.
So...
And won MVP at that.
Yeah, that's right. Won MVP. So
one of the craziest things to me is that, for me, Ricky Rubio has been around the block forever.
For a while.
27 years old.
Yeah.
This guy has still got some years of basketball ahead of him.
He does, but he's been here for a while.
So for him to check in at 84, I think is a massive upgrade for our point guard situation. I think he's.
Well, we actually have a point guard now.
Yeah,
so
actually have one. Yes,
it's not even an upgrade.
Yes.
It's we put in a point guard.
Where did Isaiah Cannon check in? Do we know?
Isaiah Cannon.
99, 100 maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, that guy's garbage, man. All right, Tyler Ulis, where did he check in?
Yeah.
UDFA. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, he did not make the list.
Second player, I'm okay with it. Number 66, DeAndre Ayton.
Well, I think that's kind of exciting. It's literally after 1 year where we went 19 wins. Apparently, that's clearly the huge denominator and decision factor in this ranking system is obviously how well your team's doing. So based off of that, the fact that he's 66 I like that. I like that a lot.
I like that a lot. I think that he's got a lot of room to grow. All the buzz this offseason has been him positionally changing to power forward, potentially.
Being more of an offensive weapon.
Yeah. I think that this could be interesting I'm really intrigued by the Baines acquisition and how Aaron Baines and DeAndre Ayton are going to pair together.
Yeah, if they gel.
Because Baines can kind of stretch and shoot the 3 ball, so he could be like your stretch 4 on offense, and Ayton's down on the block. But on defense, he could do all the dirty work against the big, and give Ayton the power forward matchup.
Be the anchor, yeah.
So I think that if Ayton and AD are both going to make transition to power forward, that's going to be a fun matchup to watch.
That really is, especially how often
it always was last year. But if they both get better, centers, traditional style centers that can protect the rim and kind of do some other stuff and help them out.
Yep.
Ayton could be a legit star in this league. I think that he's got superstar potential. I know I'm biased.
Well, I mean, I'm going to be really paying attention to Booker, obviously, just to see what happens this year. But that's somebody I feel like you really should be watching, Suns fan or not, to see what happens. Because he went under the radar, obviously, completely last year, despite having kind of borderline a historic year.
Yeah, he came in third in Rookie of the Year, and there's no way he should have, And
if it wasn't for
honestly
Young having a ridiculous end of the season, and even just having a good end of the season, he probably would have finished second.
Yeah, but Young is also going up against guys who are later in the season who don't really care as much. Sure, you score because then I'm going to score on you. Ayton's got to muck it up in the paint every day, all day. It's tough for him to keep his energy up. He was running out of gas because we played 82 games. He's probably not
played
used
him a
to
lot.
it. And we rode him a ton. But I'm excited for DeAndre Ayton and the potential. He is a better player at his age than Devin Booker was at his age.
That's the thing. He is kind of looking like maybe he becomes a serious superstar.
He's exponentially better than Devin Booker as a 21-year-old.
He either needs to take his offensive level, though, to elite, or he just needs to really step up his defensive game and become a well-rounded player.
Level is elite, and the one thing he didn't show us that much, and I'm intrigued, is the 3 ball
and kind of offense in general, because he just really wasn't given a whole lot of
Yeah,
opportunities.
sure, the opportunity, but the efficiency was there because
Yeah.
when they would give him 10 attempts,
He
he
made it
would
count.
make 6 or 7 of them, or even 8 of them
I was
some
supposed to
nights,
say 8.
and he would have like 16 points
He
on
would
like
win his
8
matchups
layups.
down low.
And he would have these post moves, these jumpers, like, and he would score. And it was fun to watch, and I'm excited for this year. Let's get into our highest ranked Phoenix Suns, Devin Booker.
Yeah, highest at 30.
30. Although he's at 30, I don't know exactly how to feel about it. I'm torn.
Yeah.
Because he's ahead of a lot of guys like Draymond Green and Klay Thompson and some of these other guys who
The
are...
list is a little... You could argue it's wacky
wonky.
in its some senses and others, but yeah.
But then he's behind, De'Aaron Fox, Trae Young, Luka Doncic, some of these other guys who,
Zion
credit to them.
Williamson
Yeah, guy who hasn't even played in the NBA
hasn't
yet.
played a single game.
And
they said it was based off of what they think they're going to have impact-wise on the team, and based off of that, Booker by far has the biggest impact on the team. And second of all, if you're saying impact in terms of just winning, then this is not based off of impact. This is how well your team did.
Yeah.
And we're going to rate players based off of that and not actually based off of their individual talent, skill, and performance.
Exactly. So 30, I think, is,
it's
a little bit high.
I
think
get
he should
it
be
for how much hate
probably
Booker's been getting. I get it.
7 slots higher on this.
Like 25.
Yeah.
If you put it on 25, like, all right, he's
so
a top
we're griping
25
about
player.
5
fair.
to 10 slots at max. I know that's petty, but guess what? That's all we have.
Yeah, and
all
it's
right?
also petty not to put him in.
Yeah, have you forgotten about the last decade of terrible basketball?
It's so
we've been
petty to
forced watch?
put all of the losses onto him. That's so petty.
Like, I have nothing to root for because this team has not gotten more than 25 wins in the last 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah.
All right. We play 82 games. At least, give me 35.
Getting close to half of our life
Get to
playoffless.
The second half of my life has been playoffless for the Suns.
Yeah.
After the first half was lit because they were in playoffs all the time and they were really good.
This is why we can't have nice things.
We can't have anything nice in Arizona right now.
Yeah. Not
It's a really
sports, at least.
somber mood today here.
The weather's
We're
getting
bringing
better,
the heat.
but...
all right, we are not bringing the heat. We are bringing the freaking sorrow right now. We are sitting on this couch recording this podcast, and it is a sad day to be in Arizona.
Well, let me
sports
pull
fan.
a 180 and put it this way. We've got 3 top 100 players, however you want to look at it, which is more than we've definitely had in the past 3 years.
We have 3% of the top 100.
So that's optimism. That's something to look forward to. But most importantly, I just think we have a more whole team, and we're actually going to be able to watch
team. I'm excited to do the breakdown
basketball.
and talk about more of these guys.
I think it could be kind of like the
rookies.
Cardinals, where it's a struggle year still, but we're at least able to watch
improvement.
basketball.
I want to see
no
improvement.
28
yeah,
to
I
5
watch
quarters.
Basketball. I want to watch football.
Yeah, I get to watch
We're watching
actual
football.
basketball. I can go to the stadium downtown and see an actual basketball game.
Not whatever the hell they were playing the last few years.
Yeah, so the fact that we even get that luxury at this point is a blessing. So I'm not going to complain too much beyond that.
Look forward to that coverage. We're going to be breaking down all things Suns, all of our recent draft picks, acquisitions, everything related to that. I know we want to talk a little bit more Coyotes. We're not super big hockey people in terms of knowledge. In terms of knowledge. I still have a lot of questions about some of these friggin' rules, but, NHL 20 is slowly teaching me the game. But I am excited about the Coyotes potentially doing something. Because when they're good, it's just always something else to look back on and be like, all right, at least, this game matters. Or, oh, we're close here. That's all it's about. Is starting to bring all of our 4 major sports to meet our niche sports excellence.
Yep.
So, but, guess that's all we have for today. Let's go Cardinals this weekend. Let's pull off this.
Let's go Devils.
We're a home dog. Let's go Devils. Pull off the upset over 15 Cal on the road.
2 upsets. Yeah, let's do it.
Go into California and win. Let's pull off some of these wins. Let's get us feeling better for next week. The podcast is always better when they win.
Absolutely. Of course.
I guess that's all we have for you today. we're on to week 4, week 5, whatever week it is. Week 4 for the Cardinals, week 5 for ASU. But this is Tanner and Drew signing off. Have a great day.
See you later, guys.